Good morning, you're watching Breakfast with Charlie State and Susanna Reid.
Our main stories this morning at 7:31. Egypt's Prime Minister has arrived in Gaza in an unprecedented display of support with Hamas militants. Israel has said it's suspending its attacks during the 3-hour visit.
Well, Israel said, Sophie, look, she can run fast. I bet she can drive fast as well. I think they meet the Stig.
She'll be driving one-handed, though. The other hand out.
Time now is 7:40. Imagine a stranger smiling at you in the street, possibly, but you're not able to smile back or express any real kind of emotion in your own face. For the 100,000 people in the UK with facial palsy, it's an everyday reality and one many struggle to explain.
Today, though, a new charity is being launched to support sufferers and raising awareness. Joining us now is...
Look at the weather now. Carol's there for...
See you a bit later on.
Let's get some business news now. And Steph's got information for those...
Indeed. Talking of cookies...
Clear the cookies.
Different sort of cookies now. Children in Need cookies. Children in Need returning to our screens tonight for its 33rd year with a familiar face. Sir Terry Wogan among the hosts.
Yes, it is a tough target to beat. Last year's record amount was raised, but a lineup including One Direction, stars of the Olympics and Lord Sugar in a special edition of EastEnders. Maybe that'll do the trick.
Of course, it's the events around the UK really getting everyone into the spirit. The baking and the singing. Tim Muffet's in Cardiff this morning where hundreds of young people have...
The first police crime commissioner in England and Wales has been elected.
Yes, the Conservative candidate Angus McPherson won the vote in Wiltshire, the only one of the 41 elections to be declared overnight.
Yes, figures show just over 15% of the electorate cast votes in Wiltshire, and there have been reports of deserted ballot boxes in other parts of the country. Our reporter John Kay is in Swindon. In place at the moment. These are quite unusual circumstances, aren't they?
And we are in the realms of speculation, of course, at the moment, but what might that mean? Galpin, thanks very much indeed. Richard Galpin reporting from Jerusalem.
Time now exactly 8:15. The results of the first elections for police and crime commissioners in England and Wales are being revealed today.
There are signs of a low turnout, though. In Wiltshire, the only result to be declared so far this morning. Just 15% of the electorate voted. Well, let's talk to the policing minister. Morning. Can you call these elections a success if the turnout in the only area currently to have a result is 15%?
Well, let's
say that everybody cares about crime and policing, and of course, I'm sure you're right about that. Unfortunately, the early turnout figures, and it's not just in Wiltshire, there are other areas and districts that we're getting official turnout figures for. Some in Trowbridge, which is a part of Wiltshire, as low as 10.9%, Devizes 10.4%. These may be issues that people care about, but this is an election that the electors haven't cared about, and that is a problem, isn't it? If people care about this, and if the role is as important as you say it is vitally important that these people have a mandate and that local people feel that they have a stake in that, isn't it? And currently, that doesn't look like what's happened. Well, McPherson, who is the first candidate to be elected as a police commissioner in Wiltshire, is a Conservative. He says that this job is, and not knowing who's standing for it, that has to constitute a failure, doesn't it? Well, that is the same as 7 parliamentary constituencies. And with the best will in the world, one individual couldn't go out and knock on all those doors. For instance, he says, why not have allowed people to have a leaflet so that local electors could at least have had something through the door? Minister for Policing and Criminal Justice, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, the time now is exactly 20 minutes past 8. What's coming up on the programme today? Sun was shining on Sark when they filmed that, wasn't it? It looked lovely.
It is a lovely programme, actually. Let's see if there's any sunshine this morning, especially if you're doing something outside for children in need. Carol has that for us. Morning.
Days.
I know they are.
A little weather lady out having a Girl Guide camp.
Well, the traditional, yes, exactly. The traditional image of a Girl Guide. One, something like that, of Carol's, with armsfuls of badges, singing songs around a campfire in the drizzle. Guides these days more likely to be travelling overseas or whizzing down a zip wire.
Julie Bentley is the new
station, and we have 100,000 volunteers that help us to deliver girl guiding every week. They are the lifeblood.
Guides can't become guides instantly.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Coming up this morning, BBC. Time now, though, to get the news, travel and weather where you are. We'll see you in a moment.
Labour has held its seats in by-elections in Manchester Central and Cardiff South and Penarth. A third by...
The former Radio 1 DJ Dave Lee Travis has been bailed following his arrest on suspicion of sexual offences. The 67-year-old...
But first, though, let's tell you what's coming up in the programme.
Watch it. It was too frightening.
Would you have gone up the stairs?
No, I wouldn't go to the house.
OK.
If I knew I was going to be in a ghost story, I wouldn't go there at all.
That wouldn't really work, would it?
He's come back to England to train with Arsenal, so he likes to keep himself fit. So there was...
Games, but as Mike says, Jade Jones won Britain's first ever Olympic gold medal in the sport, and then the popularity soared, and she wasn't the only success story.
That's right. Luciano Mohammed came through a UK sport talent programme to become the first British man to win an Olympic taekwondo medal, taking bronze. They're both joining us this morning. Hello. Carol, calm things down for us. Carol, thank you very much.
It's 3 miles long, has a population of around 600, and no cars drive there.
Yes, Sark is the smallest of the Channel Islands and is the focus of the new series An Island Parish, which begins tonight.
The programme follows an Anglican vicar new to the island and a Methodist lay preacher as they try to help a community facing threats to the traditional way of life there. In a moment, we're going to process.
That was the interview process.
Right.
Isolated.
They are isolated.
Thank you so much for coming to see us here.
Jill.
It's
Thank
been
you.
lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Island Parish begins tonight, BBC 2, 8:30.
Also tonight, Children in Need, returning to our screens for its 33rd year, with Sir Terry Wogan, of course, hosting again.
A tough target to beat last year's record amount was raised, but a lineup including One Direction, stars of the Olympics, Lord Sugar in a special edition of EastEnders is part of the lineup.
But it's the events around the UK which, of course, get everyone into the spirit. Tim Muffet, not Tim Cardiff. Tim Muffet has gone to...
Thank you very much.
And good luck to everybody taking part. Saran Jones is here.
Films and things in a minute.
It is scary. Before we talk to Saran, let's get a quick last look at what's happening where you are, and we'll see you in just a moment. So when it comes to horror, it doesn't get much scarier than a James Herbert novel. So be prepared to hide behind the sofa, because one of his bestsellers has just been adapted for television.
The Secret of Crickley Hall tells the story of Eve and Gabe Cayley, is that right?
Callie.
Well, that
No,
hasn't
there
it?
has, actually, and I keep reading it, and whenever I...
Lovely to see you. The Secret of Crickley Hall starts this Sunday, BBC One, 9 o'clock.
That's it from us. We're going to hand over to Cardiff now. Tim's there with her Children in Need performance.